If you ever find yourself struggling to remember to do the dynamics as you're playing through your music, in this video I'm going to explain why that happens and how to fix it. My name is Josh Gu, and I'm taking my years of experience learning, teaching, and performing, and sharing all of my best clarinet and music tips so you can get more out of your practice, and most importantly, have fun. You can learn more about all of my many resources at QuickStartClarinet.com, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell to get notified when I post new videos. Before we get into that discussion about the dynamics, there's something super important that I need to tell you about. If you're watching this video when it was posted or any time before May 20th, 2024, then you still have time to get enrolled in the summer session of the Next Level Clarinet Intensive. This is probably the single best thing that you could do to grow your clarinet playing to the next level over the summer. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit biased because it's my program, but it's gotten fantastic results with past students who've gone through it saying that they weren't expecting to grow that fast, that it's better bang for the buck than traditional private lessons, and just getting awesome results from it. It's also one of my favorite programs because I get to actually work one-on-one with people so much, and we cover all of the core fundamentals and all of the core foundational things that will take you to the next level. And that's true whether you're pretty much just starting out or you're already a pretty advanced player. It's the same things to go to the next level, and it's the same things that I'm thinking about all the time. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can go to quickstartclarinet.com/fundamentals where you can get registered for it. There's also a video on that page that sort of goes more in depth with what we'll actually be tackling in the intensive itself, so you can learn more about what the program is and sort of what those core fundamentals and foundations are that you need to take your playing to the next level. So even if you're not interested in doing the intensive, just watching that training will be very valuable for you. But I do hope that you'll join me because it's going to be a really awesome summer that you won't want to miss, where we're going to be really going through, working one-on-one, getting all of the training and all the information you need to truly take your playing to the next level, and then take it to the next level again, and then take it to the next level again indefinitely, because these are the core things that you need for your entire clarinet journey. And if you do happen to be watching this after May 20th of 2024, then you won't be able to join the summer session, but there may be a future session and you can still go to quickstartclarinet.com/fundamentals to watch the training video and sign up for the waitlist for future sessions. And if you are somebody who finds yourself forgetting to do the dynamics while you're playing, the intensive will go over that in lots of detail and really help you to actually fix that and implement it. But this video will also tell you sort of why that happens, why it absolutely drives me crazy, the reason why it does happen, and how to fix it. So starting with why it actually happens, and the piece of advice that I really don't like when it comes to playing the clarinet and kind of just band in general. I feel like this is very much band director advice, and I completely understand where band directors are coming from when they're trying to get 60, 90 kids to play together and be able to perform in a concert. But that terrible piece of advice that I hate hearing is worry about the notes and rhythms first, and then add in the dynamics and articulations and all of that stuff later. And again, from the perspective of trying to get a bunch of kids to play together for a concert, I totally get it, because you're going to have more problems if everybody's not playing the right notes and rhythms than you will if everybody's not playing the dynamics. However, when it comes to our personal practice, I think that's absolutely terrible advice and something that you should avoid. And the reason why is based on how our brains actually learn. So when you're practicing, anytime you play anything or do anything on the instrument, it's firing neural networks, and your brain is communicating to other parts of your brain, which is communicating to your muscles, and you're doing the thing. And every time you do that thing, you get a little bit better at it. That's just sort of the neuroscience of learning, is every time we do something, our brain thinks that's important and wants to hold on to it. Every time we remember something, our brain treats that as more important and wants to hold on to it. And it starts to sort of build grooves or paths or sort of those insulated networks in your brain that automatically do that. So if you think about the advice, focus on the notes and rhythms first, and then add in the dynamics and articulations, then you're playing and you're getting the notes and rhythms, ignoring the dynamics and articulations, and you're building that path and insulating that path and getting more efficient at playing it without the notes and, or sorry, without the dynamics and articulations. And then when you go later to add those in, that's a different path that you need to go down. But your brain is so used to going down the path of not doing those things that it's going to automatically do that. And that's why you feel like you're always forgetting. You can even tell yourself like, okay, this time I'm going to do that crescendo in measure 19. You start playing, you get to measure 19, and your brain is so used to going down the path of not crescendoing there that it just does it automatically. And then you never are able to learn, and you're always forgetting that that crescendo is there. Now you may be saying to yourself, well, there's so much stuff that I have to do. I have to know what the notes are. I have to finger the right notes. I have to have my air and embouchure support so that the note actually comes out. I have to know the rhythm so that the timing is actually correct for when it comes out. I need to actually make it sound good. And then I also have to move my tongue to do the articulations and change the air to get the dynamics and shape the music. I totally get it. That's a ton of different stuff that you need to do. And especially when you're first learning something, it's incredibly difficult to do all of those things simultaneously. So what's the solution to that? The solution is not to just ignore some of those things and then have to relearn it later. That's almost the equivalent of saying, I'm just going to ignore the key signature and learn it without the key signature so that I don't have to worry about paying attention to the sharps or flats in the key signature. You can imagine how detrimental that would be. So I have no idea why we're advising musicians to ignore the information of the dynamics and the articulations in there. So what you need to do instead is actually take out the clarinet playing. Instead of taking out the dynamics, or instead of taking out the key signature or those other parts of complication, take out the clarinet playing. And what I mean by this is now you don't have to worry about what is the air doing, what's the embouchure doing, actually getting a sound to come out of the instrument, or even how the fingers are wiggling, and you're just focused on the music. In my $1 million practice process, step number 1 is to figure out how the music goes, and you figure out how the music goes without the instrument. So what that actually looks like is the process of audiation. Audiation is visualization, but instead of visuals, it's sound, so it's hearing the music in your head. So the best thing to do when you're starting to learn a piece is pick a small chunk, look at the music, and try to hear it in your head. And as you're hearing it in your head, you may not get exactly the right pitches. That's totally fine. And you can play maybe the notes a few times to sort of get an idea of the pitches, or even better, listen to a recording to get an idea of the pitches. But we want to get a crystal clear image in our head of exactly how does that music sound with all of the details. And you can go in as small of a chunk as you want. You can go as slow as you want to really get all of those details and have the bandwidth to catch everything. But the thing that's important is that you get a clear image of exactly how the music goes with all of the details, dynamics, articulations, style, character, rhythms, notes as closely as you can, and really have that end goal in mind. And when you establish that end goal and get clarity on how the music actually goes in step 1, then when you go to step 2 of the $1 million practice process and actually do it on the instrument, it's going to go so much better because you actually know what you're aiming for. You actually have an end goal in mind, and it's just so much easier to then get the instrument to do that. And you'll never find yourself forgetting the dynamics because the dynamics were in there from the very start. And the cool thing about it is when you learn it this way, the dynamics become integrated in just the flow of the music and sort of in that recording in your head. So it's no longer, okay, I'm reading these notes and rhythms. Oh yeah, and there's those dynamics and stuff underneath the music that I'm also supposed to be paying attention to, where you're like trying to split your eyes and focus on the staff and focus under the staff, and hopefully there's no like ritardando or accelerando or any other tempo things or character things above the staff, because you only have 2 eyes, so you can't keep track of all of that. It doesn't become that at all, and what it becomes is actually knowing how the music goes. So you see that line of music and you can sort of absorb everything as a whole. And the visual of the music is just cueing the memory of your audiation of how the music goes. So you're going to start doing the dynamics on autopilot rather than before when you felt like you were forgetting the dynamics. What actually was happening is that you were not doing the dynamics on autopilot. So that's sort of my biggest pet peeve. I understand if you're a band director and you've said that, and I also understand if you're getting started and it's really overwhelming, but I really encourage you in your personal practice to start with figuring out how the music goes. Listen to recordings, work in small chunks and really audiate it nice and slow so that you have the bandwidth to get all that stuff down and clarify that image of how the music goes before you then go to put it on the clarinet. And I bet it's going to make things so much easier and so much more musical for you. And you know what else will make things so much more easy and so much more musical for you? The Next Level Clarinet Intensive. I know I sort of talked about it a lot already in the beginning of this video, but if you're still watching this and if you're interested in it at all, I highly encourage you to check it out. Again, it's one of my very best programs where we're going to go through all of the details and work one-on-one to implement those details. So if you're looking for some summer accountability, if you're hoping to sort of finally feel at ease playing the clarinet and have confidence that you're able to get things like rhythm, sound quality, articulation, high notes, musicality, we're covering all of that stuff and putting it into practice over the 10 weeks of the intensive. So go to quickstartclarinet.com/fundamentals where you can learn more about that. And thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it helpful, and I look forward to seeing you in another one. And last but not least, a huge heartfelt thank you to the Dennersons. This is like the QuickStart Clarinet family who supports the channel and helps to make everything that I do possible. If you would like to support the channel and get some awesome rewards in return where we can work one-on-one over video and you can have my full support moving forward on your clarinet journey, then go to quickstartclarinet.com/supporter.